Early in the morning.
What's going on, people? It's your boy Cam, Topical Juice, and I'm back with another interesting video today because as you can see from the title, we're going to be looking at toxic relationships. Now I know we've all been in one. In fact, I've only been in one relationship my whole life really, and it was toxic. Do you know what I'm saying? So I can it's a shame that my only relationship has been like, it ended in a sour way type thing, if that makes sense. So with toxicity, and you know, as soon as you come out of it, you start growing and becoming better and leveling up. So I'm definitely talking on experience here, but also experience of being a friend to people as well. And I've seen, because I've been single for 4.5 years, yeah, gladly, I've seen a lot of my friends come in and out of relationships, you know, multiple relationships, in and out, you know, it's interesting seeing how they develop. So yeah, let's get into this video. Smash that like button for me, hit that subscribe button for me, press that bell to be notified for me, and obviously if you want to support your boys' merch, then you know where to find that. It's in the description below. So what does a toxic relationship look like? Let's break it down into points. The first point is emotional manipulation, right? People in a toxic relationship, they always want to emotionally manipulate each other. Now, it's not 100% of the time, but there is emotional manipulation within that relationship. Now, it could be something along the lines of one of them in a relationship pointing out a flaw in their partner, you know, something that they're insecure about. But not only that, after they point out that flaw, they then kind of follow that with, you know, but I still love you. Do you know what I'm saying? I still love you the same. You feel me? You know, does that kind of make sense? It's kind of like you point out something that they don't like about themselves, but then you remind them that, you know, I still like you despite that. Do you know what I'm saying? Despite you having that flaw about yourself, I still like you, or I'm still with you. Do you understand? That is emotional manipulation, right? That's tapping into one's insecurities and then manipulating that so that they obviously rely on you, they lean on you. Oh crap, I hate this about myself, but my boyfriend, he accepts me for who I am, things like that. Do you know what I'm saying? So that is a clear sign of a toxic relationship. That's what a toxic relationship looks like. You and your partner, you might not even notice you're doing it, by the way. You know, it could be conscious or unconscious. You could be consciously, and this is more evil, this is more sociopathic. You could be consciously manipulating your partner. But sometimes, because of the toxicity within yourself and maybe your own insecurities, you could be projecting onto your partner. And you could be unconsciously emotionally manipulating them. The world is not black and white. It's whole areas of grey. You have to be open to any kind of avenue of how it transpires, or any possibility type thing, infinite realities. So that's definitely point number one. Point number two is you're always trying to outdo each other, right? Now, this was an issue in my relationship. You know, in the last 6-7 months, it was very toxic in the last 6 months, right? And there would be times where I would, I might like Kylie Jenner's picture on Instagram. I didn't even fuck with Kylie Jenner that much, to be honest. You know, she's quite lame, but she's fake, you know what I mean? Not fake, but you know what? If I said fake, I said fake. What is what it is. If you feel offended, then maybe that's plastic surgery didn't make you feel secure. But anyway, I would like a picture of Kylie Jenner, right? And then I would go on Twitter, and like within like a couple hours or something like that, yeah, my ex would like quote tweet like a picture of Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't know if she's ever gonna see this video here, but if you do ever see this video, like, it's actually hilarious reflecting back on what we used to do, like how the little petty like toxicity between us. Like, she would quote tweet Cristiano Ronaldo with like heart eyes, yeah, and like obviously in order to get under my skin, because in her mind I've liked this picture of Kylie Jenner. It's a girl, she's busty, she's got booty, whatever, she's pretty, so therefore she has to one up me. Do you understand? And then I would one up her, and it's just a cycle of toxicity. So she would quote tweet Ronaldo, like with heart eyes, and I would see that on the TL, and I'd be like, well, what's this about? Like, I don't understand. I mean, not that Cristiano Ronaldo could ever make me insecure. That being said, that's the type of level that we're dealing with here, this kind of toxicity, and that's what a toxic relationship looks like. You know, rather than encouraging each other and bigging each other up, you're trying to outdo each other. It becomes a competition. You know, it's intense love, but it's intense fighting. It's all petty, and then you'll argue because of that, and then obviously you'll talk it out, you'll hash it out, you'll hash it out, and all of a sudden you love each other extreme again. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's all very petty whack, man. The third thing, right, in my notes, purposely not texting back. Oh, in fact, that you know what? I'll tie that into the point I've just made. that's also another example of trying to outdo each other. In a healthy relationship, it doesn't matter what time you text back because you have an understanding. You know, it could be work, it could be this, it could be independence, it could be busy. In a healthy relationship, it doesn't matter what it is. If you have an understanding, it doesn't matter. If two people are happy to text each other once every 3 days in a relationship and they're healthy and happy with that, then fine. Obviously, I wouldn't want to do that. I'd want to talk to my girl every day, but there'll be times where, you know, one could be busy and you haven't replied to them for X amount of reason, but then because of the toxicity in a relationship, it becomes again a competition. So then this girl or whoever it is that you're texting, or your wifey or whatever, will then not text back for the same amount of time that you have, or even more, just to kind of get to re-establish some control, re-establish some power. Do you know what I'm saying? It's all toxic, pure toxicity. Another example is you fight a lot. Now, you'd think it's obvious, but like a lot of people are used to being in argumentative, toxic relationships. I know people who were in toxic relationships, are in toxic relationships. It was nothing but toxicity. I've been there for them, and all of a sudden I then see that they're back with that ex. they're back with that ex, and what that suggests to me is that, you know, some people, they are attracted to that. You know, some people are actually attracted to that lifestyle, and they don't know any different. They might have had a toxic relationship with their parents and they argue a lot with their parents and they think that's normal. So people then find themselves back in that dynamic of normality, which is fighting. But yet they don't realize that that's not normal. Yeah, they don't realize that a healthy relationship, you don't fight, you don't yell in each other's faces, you don't scream at each other on a weekly basis, consistent basis. Yeah, that's not healthy, and that's a clear evidence of an unhealthy relationship, because you shouldn't be screaming at each other, yelling at each other. I've heard stories of people calling the police on each other. Yeah, what kind of relationship is that? And they're back with that ex now. It's madness. It's absolutely madness. I've got multiple people in mind. It's not just one in particular, but I've got multiple people in mind. It's so mad how people get used to these unhealthy relationships that they just think it's normal, and then they just get dragged back into it because they just don't know any different, because it's just that love, hate, that fight, love, whatever it is, that fight, peace. It's just what they're used to. It's normal to them. A good example is what Faye did. Faye and Teddy. I know that was only one big example, but that is common in a toxic relationship. You screaming at your partner and that person just taking it or screaming back or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So another thing is you hide things. Yeah? And I'm not just talking about big things like cheating or this or that. I'm talking about the little things, hiding who you're texting, right? There'll be many a time where I would have to hide that I'm texting a friend, literally a friend. And I'm not blaming my ex for that, by the way, because I did things that in a relationship that made her feel insecure along the lines. You know, I made mistakes as well. So I'm not trying to paint out, you know, girls or my ex was a psycho. It's not that thing. But ultimately, because our relationship did get toxic, I then had to hide things that shouldn't have been hideable. Do you know what I'm saying? Because of how it would be perceived and this, that. And I'm thinking to myself, why do I have to hide this? You know, why do I have to lie? And it's because the reaction is not going to be a healthy one, so therefore I then have to lie, and it all becomes long. Do you understand? Very, very long. Another point is the relationship is abusive. Now, this should be obvious, but again, it goes back to the point about what I said about what people are used to, and maybe tied into their upbringing or certain traumas or whatever. Some people genuinely don't realize that if they're being abused or physically abused or whatever in a relationship, people don't realize that's not healthy. I'm saying most people do, but some people don't. Yeah, they don't realize that that's not a normal relationship. And they actually go from a relationship like that to another relationship like that to another relationship like that. Yeah, it's consistent. Again, I've got people in my mind who I've been there for, who have swapped one relationship that's toxic for another. It's very, very interesting. Very interesting how some people just cannot see it. Yeah, they cannot see it. But then obviously on the other hand, some toxic relationships can be worked through. Do you understand? There's actually some people out there that probably have a toxic relationship with their ex, and they get back with their ex, and maybe the timing's better now. So I'm not saying that all relationships just stay toxic and that's it. Some people can reconnect a year later, 6 months later, and it improves. Most of the time it doesn't, but you know, I'm sure there's some examples of success stories out there. The final point I want to say is that you change yourself to match what you think they want. And this is a bit of a subtle one. You know, it's not necessarily just about things like, oh yeah, he likes brunettes, so you're gonna dye your hair brunette, or he likes tattoos, so you're gonna get tattoos. It's kind of like you actually shape your personality to things that you think he wants, that actually impact or compromise your own integrity. You know, maybe the way of thinking or the way of maybe doing something that you're not comfortable with. You know, you would do these things or say these things or think these things just to appease him or her. That's definitely another sign of an unhealthy relationship. And again, that's an example of what a toxic relationship actually looks like. You changing your personality for them when it actually goes against your natural personality. You want to be with someone that feels you and fucks with you for you, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Naturally. So, but yeah, man, listen, toxicity, relationships, exes, all that stuff. In fact, I'm going to do a video about can you still be friends with your ex. I might even do that today still. In fact, you can look, yeah, fuck it, I'm going to do that video today. But you know, relationships, toxicity, I think we're the first generation to really understand and talk about what a toxic relationship is, or talk about toxic relationships. I don't think our parents really knew what, I don't think we used that term toxicity and toxic relationships before my generation, I'd say. We know what to look for. And you know, it's funny, Car, I've grown so much since my relationships. 4.5 years. I'm not even the person, I don't even recognize the person that I was when I was with my ex. I don't even recognize the person I was in 2019. Do you understand? So we can always grow and we can always change. That's all I've got to say on that one. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts. Have you come from a toxic relationship before? Are you in a toxic relationship right now? Some of the things I've said, are you going through that? Let me know your thoughts. And yeah, man, I'll see you at the next video. Peace.